I had a very blessed day today. And I can
Blessed.
tell you why it's specifically blessed
Telltale.
because it is currently as recording, it is Sunday. It is
The
Sunday.
Lord's Day.
It is the
Shop.
Lord's Day. And I am staying with my grandparents currently, which means church is mandatory. So
Yes.
I am blessed by Jesus Christ on this day for the first time in over a year.
Congrats.
You know, I've never
And
I've never been to church. I kind of want to go at this point. Can one of you guys take
it's
me to church one time and I can like
yes,
sort of
we can
pretend like I'm
I can,
rushing around
I can
looking for
look.
take
the
you to a
religion?
synagogue.
Yeah, okay. I can say, my parents they didn't really
There
believe in
is,
anything and
Joey, there's one cool part about church. And if you've never been to church,
the
at
hymns,
the end, no, fuck the hymns.
the food.
Well, the crackers is really not
I
that good.
love
Blood
crackers.
of Christ.
It's
I love bland
okay.
carbs.
At the very end, after you get the little cookie that they
Yeah.
give you, that's supposed to be Jesus' like skin or
Oh my
whatever.
God.
Mm.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
You get to have you get while you're waiting for everyone else to finish getting their cookie,
Yeah.
you get to have individual individual prayer time for you just to pray whatever you want.
Okay.
And so I did pray today for the first time in over a year.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so I
How
What'd
have
was
you
you been
pray for?
changed?
I prayed for a quick and seamless Aaron Judge return and recovery to the New York Yankees, and that so it's and I hope he hits 100 home runs this year.
See, now you've put me in a position I was just defending organized religion, and now if he doesn't do that, I'll know that it didn't happen. Like your prayer
Well,
didn't work. So I'm back to square one now. I
okay.
I don't believe in anything
Realistic,
anymore.
I asked for him to hit lots of home runs. I didn't ask for 100.
Yeah, I think we're
Yes.
already past the quick and seamless recovery
Yeah. That was
thing.
that
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 was like
that left
maybe a
about
month
that left
ago at
about
least.
Well,
48
no,
hours
what I
after
mean
Matt
is like that. I just don't want the
kicked that
toe injury
big.
to affect his play. That's what I kind of mean.
I would agree.
True.
Yeah.
And
One thing about we know the Yankees and toe problems, it's
well,
not good.
Aaron Judge likes Jesus
Aaron Judge
famously.
does, and
True.
that is okay. You're bringing me
Fellow
back to
man
Famously.
this
of
favor.
Christ.
At the end of the episode, I will deliver a verdict if I am or am not considering finding a new faith.
So if Aaron Judge like goes off and wins Player of the Month, you can thank me.
Yeah, and my
Or if he
new
just
Lord and Savior, all possibly.
Yes.
gets back on the field, I guess too.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah,
Who
you
knows
know.
when that'll happen?
And if he
Look,
sucks, then God's not real, and that's okay.
Time
look,
to find a
prayers are
new God.
This is a case study.
True. I like this.
now prayers
That's
are all
what
well and good, right? But nothing's gonna save these teams from their fate this deadline, right? Teams they talk about, oh, we're gonna see how the next few weeks go. You've already played 3 months. Everybody knows the deal. 4 months. You're not changing anything based on these next couple weeks. Which brings us to, I think, the main topic of the show here. We're gonna do a little alignment chart. You can see it right here. You got the axes. You can't see it. This is an
Oh,
audio. This is an
no,
audio
no, no. You
medium.
just had to wait for it to
So
focus.
Yeah.
scuffed, so scuffed.
Podcasting, folks, podcasting is a visual medium.
This
So the
is
x-axis
true.
here, on our little matrix is going to be how these teams are faring in the future, next 5 years or so. While the y-axis, it's going to show us in the position they are to win right now. The exercise of this, you can create 4 quadrants that more or less represent the 4 directions that a team can be trending at any given time. And we're going to see the, extremes in both direction, as well as sorting through. There's going to be a lot of teams where you have 20 seconds worth of things to say, because there's only so much you can say about a team that doesn't spend money. Am I right, James?
Yep. I know a lot about that.
Yeah. No, so I don't know. How do you guys want to start with this? You want to go division by division?
I
An
think
attendee.
that would be a great way to start it.
Okay.
Can we just kick it off with the American League Central Division just so we could nip that in the bud? Because
Specifically because you requested that, no, we will start with the American League Eastern Division.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
And
hate
we are
that.
going to
Yeah.
go. We are going to go in the
Me
current
too.
order of the standings. And we're going to try and keep this brief. This is going to be like a minute at a time.
It's like
Just
ooh,
big
lightning
picture.
rounds.
Yes. So we're going to start off with the Baltimore Orioles. This is a fun one.
I think
This
it's the easy
team,
one.
it's these guys are going to be very good for the next 5 years or so. They have so much young talent.
Still
It's
can't pitch.
now
Except for the
that's what I'm
bullpen.
getting to, right?
They got the guys in the back end, but they can't start games. They
Yeah.
don't have starters.
Yeah, because you guys remember what happened to
Yeah.
them last time they had a really good team.
Chris Tillman, baby.
Exactly. They had
Ace.
some innings eater extraordinaires, but they did not have the aces that you need. They never paid for pitching. They always made some weird free agent decisions. They thought
got
they
Alex
could,
They
Cobb.
traded away Jake Arrieta right before his prime.
yeah, a
That's
lot of
wild.
bizarre stuff.
Or maybe they just weren't working him well because the Cubs were able to just bang. But yeah, they just can't homegrown their pitching, I feel like.
With all that
Grayson is
said,
disappointing me.
they
Yeah,
have, I
exactly.
would say, a top 3 to 5 future in baseball in terms of like for the next 5 years. Orioles fans can
Overall.
be pretty excited for a great time at the park. I am putting them firmly in the win now, win later. This is
Jackson Holiday's
this is
scary.
you can think of this as the LA Dodgers center for perpetual victory. You know, they're just always cranking away. They're winning.
The
And
development's there, the
yeah,
drafting's there. It's all you want in
exactly.
a team.
And it's all there to be absolutely unwatchable in 5 years. I'm
On the
very
position
sorry.
player side,
Yeah.
Says the
I'm
Yankees
still
fans.
down on their
Well, yeah, no, we're
down
going to
on
be
their pitching.
unwatchable for a long. We'll get to us, okay? So moving on to the Tampa Bay Rays. I feel like it's like the Orioles, but sort of to a lesser degree. I don't know.
I think they are in the same rank as the Orioles.
Yeah,
Just because,
I think
I
they're
mean, the
lower.
development's there. They are probably on the
Yeah.
same level with being able to develop their own guys and draft their own guys. They'll never have a problem with that.
Yeah.
They've
but-
been slowly getting worse at pitching over the last few
Yeah,
years, which
that's
has
true.
conveniently coincided with them having a lot of their offense
Right.
position player prospects coming up. But they've lost a lot of guys, especially to injury this year. Like not necessarily for the future, but this year, the Orioles passed them. I think they're not perfect in a lot of ways, but yeah, still top of still relatively bright future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the difference maybe between the Orioles and the Rays is they're sort of even right now, but we kind of know the Rays had some sort of smoke and mirrors, one run game luck early in the year. Like you don't start 13-0 without there being some real anomalies. So I will put them there as well. Jamie, you freezing?
No, I was just saying still.
Oh, perfectly still.
Ice cold.
Ice cold killer, I would say.
It's like the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy, Dave Bautista, or whoever his character's name was.
Drax.
Yeah. The part where he's like being completely still to turn invisible.
You don't see me.
Yeah.
Bruh.
So
Next
Toronto
up.
Blue Jays.
Yep.
Who are these guys, man? Who the hell? What are we doing here?
I was just thinking about that like 10 seconds ago, and I honestly think they're in the. It's tough. They're definitely sellers.
They're
Actually,
doing this
You're
weird
using
thing.
the S word with the Blue Jays.
no, they're
No.
pretty good. I was
They're in a
hating.
playoff
Yeah.
position. They're not selling.
They're not selling.
Stop.
Oh no, they're good. They're good.
They're
Ignore
in the
thing
win
I
now,
just
win
said.
later for sure.
One thing, Vlad Guerrero Jr. is doing this weird thing where he won't elevate the baseball, and then he'll just shoot piss missiles into the ground.
Exactly. Like I see it. I see that they're good, but there's just some things long term. Like Vlad Jr. has been consistently. You're right. His launch angles. He's been hitting the ball on the ground way too much, and it's costing him. He's a 122 OPS plus guy right now. When Rizzo had those numbers, you said he sucked. So
He's
I
not
think
good
we
enough
have to
for a first baseman.
exactly.
sorry.
You're right. No, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, Bo is great. Matt Chapman, he's gonna be a free agent next year. Dalton Varsho's doing really bad.
Caven. Cabin.
George Springer's 33, and he just got his projections for the next few years like downgraded pretty significantly.
At least his OPS plus is over 100. But
Yeah,
yeah, he's been
Yeah.
awful.
I mean, overall, how many over 100 OPS plus guys do they have?
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
Well, I
And
can just
that's-
give you their team OPS plus is 109, so it's actually pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
they have a good. I mean, Manoa is
It's
bizarre to me.
Yeah,
they
the
figured
pitching
it
is
out,
their big
but they
problem
have a.
for sure. Their relief pitchers are fire. Like Romano.
I mean,
That
they
guy's a
got
dog.
Gossman, Bassett, and Barrios all doing.
Gossman's on the IL right now.
Bassett's 34. He's
Hey,
He's
like
fine.
I was saying before we started recording, Gosman Cy Young.
I mean, yeah, Gosman is nasty. That
That's
splitter
just
just
such
knocks
a
up his-
bad, unbelievably bad take, especially because he's literally on the IL right
But
now.
he's Jamie.
I'm
He's
pretty
just
sure.
trying. He's just trying to make you upset. You
Well,
gotta-
it's
It's a
working.
thing called a hot take. I don't know if you've heard of that.
It's
Yeah.
terrible. It's not a hot take. It's just a bad take.
Scorching hot.
Half the WAR, literally half the B WAR as Garrett Cole, 2.1 to 4.2,
You know what B War stands for?
best WAR. Done. Move on.
Boo
What's the next
War.
team?
All right,
Ooh.
so
No,
I'm
you
putting
lost the
Toronto
argument.
down.
You're done.
The
You
Boston
lost.
Red Sox. Uh,
Mm,
they got
I've-
names. I know the guys on their team. They
They
have,
You
have-
think they'll trade Justin Turner?
I
What's his contract looking like? Is he just
2
1 year?
let me
2 year?
I
Let me
believe
give
it's
you-
two.
I
I
feel like
believe
it's
it's an
very
op-
short
I think it's an
list,
option
too.
for next year. I
Yeah.
believe, but I have
Yeah.
to check.
I mean, Yoshida is everything they could have
Yeah, it's an
wanted.
option
Right.
for next year.
Tristan Casas, you guys seen what he's doing?
Doing good things.
He's doing good things. He's doing what I drafted him in fantasy baseball to do.
Oh hell
He's
yeah.
doing all the things that I thought he would do when I watched him last year. He's hitting 244, 349, 465 at the age of 23.
How's Jaron Duran doing these days?
Duran
Duran.
has an 883 OPS with
Jeez.
he has 19 steals too, and he's only been caught once.
Yeah.
So he's
Side
got
note on Jaron Duran, I was shocked when he came up for Team Mexico. I had no idea he
Yeah.
was Mexican.
I
That
mean, a
was like,
lot of
there's-
that Team Mexico, they
who-
came out of the woodwork.
What?
yeah, there was a Rosarena too.
There was a lot
right?
of Mexican Americans.
Right.
And Rosarina's Cuban Mexican.
Yeah, because really, there's only like 4 or 5 teams that can fill out the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
like with purely, and 5 is maybe even being generous. Like, I mean, you got Japan, which has its own league of near equal status. Then you got the U.S., Cuba, Dominican. Man, the Red Sox really are interesting. But okay, so
Imagine Ted Williams on Team Mexico.
that
Yeah.
he
That
would
would go
probably
so
say
hard.
some really, really rude things to them.
He last
Um,
one day in the clubhouse.
Yeah, their lineup is good. Their pitching is atrocious. Like it's
Yeah.
just year after year with but I'm looking at it. Paxton's good. Oh, Bayo's not on the 25. Did he get hurt?
No, Bayo's right here.
I'm not sure.
Bayo's here.
Actually, wait a minute.
Dude,
I
Bayo's
thought
got
their ERA
made
was-
16 starts, 3.6 ERA. He's got a really good, nasty
Oof.
sinker.
Is Chris
Honestly,
Sale
you're
healthy
You're
right
just-
now?
To be
No,
fair,
he's not. He's
you're
not,
just
I'm pretty sure.
always
say,
going
I
to
was just
run
looking
high
at his numbers.
ERAs at Fenway. Like it's just a hitter's park. They have the offense to do it, and to be real, Boston does have. I mean, when is Sale coming off the books for them? Like they
I
can
think
fix
after
this.
next
Has
season,
to
I
be
believe.
soon.
That's just off the top of my head, though.
They
Yeah,
can
but,
turn
like-
this around, but right now I see them. They kind of feel like they're going to be a 500 team for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Devers, Yoshida, I like
think
that.
they have the potential though. I
I
think
think
they
they
just-
are trending upwards, but not as upwards as their fans will
the
want.
youth looks strong, but
Yeah.
outside of that, like they
They
just don't
need-
have much supplementing that.
Yeah, they need offense.
Oh.
Well, Red Sox are a
So-
team that's going to spend money.
Yeah,
at some
they
point.
won't have to worry about having to struggle with supplementing that because they could just go out and buy someone.
Exactly.
It's weird because they seem to like they have like they in recent years they have a perception of being cheap. Like whoever was their owner,
Yeah.
John Henry, like he's busy with soccer. He doesn't want to spend money on the Red Sox and lets Mookie Betts go and Xander Bogaerts go. But they got Devers locked up. Letting Mookie go was a disastrous decision.
Yeah,
That's
they've
one of the
got
worst.
literally nothing at
I
this
haven't-
point.
Yeah, I mean,
Honestly,
Oscar
I
Dugo's like
haven't been
fine.
able
He's
to-
like a solid player.
I haven't been able to have the same amount of animosity toward the Red Sox since then. 'Cause it's like you just shot yourself in the foot there. You just
Oh, it's
traded away a Hall of
terrible.
Famer.
I
I
mean,
just
Mookie Betts is going to have a Dodgers cap on his Hall of Fame
yeah.
plaque.
What are we doing here?
Like, it's
All right,
just such a misstep.
moving on to more pleasant topics. The New York Yankees swept the
Pleasant.
Royals. Great.
No, we're so back.
Yeah, they're back.
We're so back.
So I think we can safely say that this season is pretty much they're not going to do much more than like win 90 games.
No, they're gonna be behind the deadline. I'm telling you, they're not gonna sell.
They're going to buy at the
They
deadline.
would have to be literally below 500 at the deadline for them to sell, and like more than 5 games out of the wild card.
When's
it
the
is-
last time the Yankees have been sellers? At the
2016.
2016.
Which
When they
ended up
got
being pretty good. They
Torres
got
and Frazier and
Yeah.
and then
Justice
that was when
Sheffield.
Judge and Gary came up and they were really good and fun.
Well,
and
Judge
then-
was bad for that year, and then he broke out the next
But it was
year.
still cool to see him.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
I still cared about his at bats.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a little. How do we really feel about this team projecting forward? They got the star power. They have not shown an ability to consistently field depth. They have some real bizarre player evaluation. They seem to think that getting mediocre left-handed hitters, because they'll go to Yankee Stadium, this will like be some sort of hack in the system.
I
And
can
it
give a
just-
little bit of take on this. Brian
Yeah.
Cashman, when he traded for Stanton, and like that whole team, especially in like 2019, was so right-handed.
Yeah.
And Brian Cashman's ideology was like good hitters are good hitters. Like it doesn't matter. And he realized he was wrong because you can just bring in like what the Rays would do. They would just bring in a right-handed pitcher from the bullpen with a gross slider and just wipe out the middle of the Yankees order. It's not like Judge and Stanton's fault. That's a terrible matchup. And
Yeah, and
you
that's
can't build
the
a team
thing.
like that.
I
But then
love
he tried to
Stanton.
fix it, but there was no good lefties anymore to fix it with. It was like Gallo, Benintendi, Rizzo, and he just had to get like the slops basically because he
Yeah.
missed on the best left-handed hitters that he could have
Yeah.
gotten.
Now, Stanton, I love Stanton, but he objectively just clogs up the entire roster. He makes it impossible to make sense. And to be honest, with the money they're giving out to LeMahieu, Stanton for the next few years, to a lesser extent Rizzo, I don't know. I don't see this team being great in the next few years, but
Like-
also I don't know. It's the Yankees. They can throw money
Here's,
at
like, the
things.
I mean, they
problem.
got prospects coming up.
They do.
Still, Spencer Jones.
I'm gonna put them.
Josh
I'm
Sullivan,
going to put them a little
others.
below the top 3 teams in the league on the win later.
Look, they're still going to be very good in over the next like
Yeah,
at
they are
least like
again,
2 to 3 years.
They
'cause
are
they're gonna
still
have
going to be, yeah.
Garrett Cole prime, Aaron Judge prime. They're going to spend money. Like there is some money coming off the books. Like Josh Donaldson's coming off. Like Severino's 15 mils coming off. IKF's like 7 mils coming off. There's like 40 mil, 15 mil to play with. Like
Yeah.
there's
I
stuff to do.
I just really worry that if there's not anything changed about their philosophy, we might just see this again. But that's for the future. Moving along, James, we will not make you wait for the AL Central any longer. Let's
God
put 2
bless.
minutes on the clock for these teams, okay?
2 minutes
Um,
total.
Yeah, starting with I'm not gonna look up. You think I'm gonna look up the standings
It's just
for the
not even
American League
worth it.
Central? The
You know
Minnesota
what they are.
Twins. The Minnesota Twins, they're fine.
They're definitely clearly in the win now section.
Yeah,
That's a lock.
and they're like
But
they can win 88 to 90 games in perpetuity, right?
Right, they
What's
could
the deal
just-
with Buxton. Can you play the field?
yeah, I mean, even if he isn't healthy,
think he
like
can.
he's had bad stretches too. So
Yeah.
like
And they're
he
gonna
doesn't have to be the main contributor anymore.
they're gonna lose Gallo at the end of the year when he signs, like a 4-year deal somewhere.
He's
after
not
the
signing a
season.
Probably
4-year
with the
deal.
White
He's
Sox.
signing a
Um,
1-year deal again.
I'm-
He's
I'm
not good still.
I'm having some fun.
Okay.
Okay, Minnesota, they're going in the middle. Moving on. The Cleveland Guardians. I mean, what is there to say? You know what I'll read? Here, talk some more. I'm going to
The Guardians just kind of feel like they ran out of juice
Yeah,
like over the
like
last few years.
as I'd say, they ran out of Devil Magic.
They don't
Because
have devil magic.
Devil Magic is in their little minor league
You
pitchers.
only
They'll
you only
call
think they
up every
have
now
devil
and then.
magic
They'll just be
because
innings eaters and nothing more, and they'll still just cruise by.
It's a struggle for them.
Yeah, but I mean, last year's definitely the biggest example of. I mean, in my mind, the Devil
This is-
Magic. But yeah, they had good ball players
This
when it
is-
was
this is my-
Stephen Kwan
Can I
and yeah. Okay, yeah.
can
what
I
were
say
you
my take and then we can move on from this team?
Yeah, please.
The entire worshiping of small ball from a team, like a team account, it's entirely a cover to not spend money on actual good baseball
Exactly.
players. And if Jose Ramirez was not on your team, you'd win 74 games. Moving along to the Kansas to the Tigers. Yes, let's talk about the Tigers.
I'm scared of them the
Okay,
most out of
now
anyone in that division.
yeah,
They
now
have a
we've
tragic thing where all their prospects busted.
I don't know.
not scared of the
It's
Tigers.
looking better these days.
I mean, they are. I
Riley
mean,
Green,
we looked at the
Matt
roster. You were
Beerling.
not here for the Eduardo Nunez Award. We looked at their roster, and it is grim.
Dude, it's bad.
It's really
Mm.
bad. Although Spencer Torkelson is trending up, they'll get Miguel Cabrera off the books. But
Yeah.
this is still. I would put them in the lose now, lose later, but in like right near the center. I think they're going
Hard
to
to
be.
not
Are-
be trending up when you're like Spencer Torkelson was like the worst player in baseball for 2 years.
Is our like lose later timetable like 5 years from
Yeah.
now?
Over the
Okay.
next 5 years, do we think this team is going to be like meaningfully better than
Tigers are in the
500?
gutter, man. They're
We
in the struggle
better.
bus.
All right.
Now
We'll
it's
save your team for last. The
Okay.
Kansas City Royals,
worse than the Tigers.
worse than the Tigers right now. MJ Melendez being being really bad is not good for them.
And Bobby Witt, he really just hasn't done anything.
He was
Worth
so
noting.
hyped. He was so hyped in the draft
Well,
and
how
as a
old is he?
prospect. He's
mean,
young. Like he could
what,
still be a very good
21?
player.
Can he buy an
but-
alcoholic
Yeah,
beverage?
he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. Yes, he can. He's our age. He's a league average hitter.
Wow.
He's stolen 27 bases. If he can play a decent shortstop, he's fine. But yeah, that's not going to bring
He
the
leads
Royals
their
up
team
anywhere.
in WAR with
OPS plus
with
99.
1.5
Yeah, so he's going to be like a serviceable Major League Baseball player, and that's the best
at
they have.
worst. Like
Yeah, they're
And
really. I
Their
mean,
pitching is just nothing.
you know, for the
I-
younger for our younger listeners, let's not forget how long the Royals can stay bad and no one really noticing. They once went 30 years without a playoff bid.
Yeah.
They were good for 2 years. And I hope they're good again. I like their uniforms. I like their stadium, but they are pretty grim. Speaking of things that are pretty grim, the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say?
I mean, today they just wrapped up their series with the Twins. Seamless sweep, or at least for the Twins, it was a seamless sweep. And there goes the season. So definitely lose now. And we'll
Who are
definitely
they trading
get-
off?
Oh, I mean, everyone's up for grabs outside of Robert. Like I could see Dylan Cease getting shipped off.
really? Okay, that's
Giolito-
interesting.
Giolito definitely is going to be gone. I'm either thinking like the Reds, the Orioles, or the Dodgers, like which are definitely the most obvious. Like
I'm glad
candidates
Luis
to get
Robert
him.
is healthy after that
Yeah.
little scare in the home run derby.
Yeah, I mean that was just like a little foot tweak. Like there wasn't anything crazy. It's just cautionary. So I mean like Tim Anderson, think he might
Ooh.
go.
You really think
Eloy.
they'll sell low on Dylan Cease?
I
Could just
think-
wait
'cause
a
he
year,
still
see if he
has
pitches better.
he still has like a few more years on his contract, I believe.
No, he
I
should have
might be wrong.
like at least 2. Like at
Because
least
the
3.
whole point with this core is that they locked them up.
His
for at
earliest free
least-
agent is 2026. So you have him for this season, the 2024 season, and the 2025
So
season.
if
to trade for him.
if what you're saying is clear, this team is exactly what they wanted and thought would be like a
And
division
the
winner.
perfect example of what they thought they would turn into is the Atlanta Braves. And it just didn't work because they didn't supplement with money and they just let a lot of things just rot
We could
without
do
really paying any attention.
we could do a really good
Braves
like
are
researched.
crazy, man. Though.
We could do a good
They
researched
are.
episode on that exact however long rebuild, because that's pretty excruciating.
Imagine so your team is going into a rebuild and they have a bunch of sick players they could trade away that are no doubt going to get top prospects like Chris Sale and Jose Quintana back then, hot commodity.
God, you Eloy.
And you get multiple Kings ransoms back and it's looking like your future's so bright. Doesn't end up being that way. And you're letting the same people try it again.
All right, the
And this
American
is
League
the third
West.
time. It's not good.
It's bad.
Very bad.
The American League West. Well, we got to talk about the Rangers,
I
the
mean, we know
fastest
where
rising
they're.
team in the league.
Yeah.
Another team that, this is the third. I think I don't know who owns the Rangers. It's got to be some rich guy. Some like
Wow,
Probably.
really?
This is the
Whoa.
some
George
homeless
W.
guy.
Yes,
No
Probably.
I
way.
bet. Yeah,
No.
I bet it's actually owned by like a student collective.
You know, I got something to admit. I
Yeah.
own the Rangers.
Yo, you do.
Yeah,
That's how you're going to like all those trips.
exactly.
Corey Seager just went on the IL. That's unfortunate. He's just so fucking awesome.
I
Yeah,
mean, he was on the injured list to start the season, though.
Yeah, he's only played six
So,
games. I mean, he's hitting
right.
350, OPSing
A quiet 350.
1.044. Only 15 homers. He hasn't played that many games,
says
but
they're owned by something called Rangers Baseball Express. What?
What?
John Daniels. Well, okay, I'm looking at their ownership group, and it says the majority owners in the Rangers are Rangers Baseball Express. What is this?
That sounds like a youth camp, a
well,
local
their
baseball
GM
youth camp.
is Chris Young, the tall pitcher Chris Young, not the third
Rangers
baseman
Baseball
Chris
Express
Young.
sounds like a roller coaster, is what it sounds like.
That too.
Like at like the Six Flags park that's right near that giant, disgusting like metal
The dumpster.
sheet metal factory. Yeah.
Literally.
Regardless of who these owners are, the team, Marcus Semien, Jamie, were you the one who said he's on track to have like an Adrian Beltre style?
I did have that take.
I hope
He
so. That'd be fun.
did have
What do
that.
you mean by that?
So where he has his like best years in his 30s, he like well, Adrian Beltre, like he just took off. Like he had a really good 1 year in Boston.
Yeah.
Like he obviously when he was with Adrian Beltre with the Dodgers, he had that one crazy year and hit 48 home runs. And then he was kind of just like not really that good. And then he got that contract with Seattle, wasn't any good on Seattle. Got the 1 year with Boston, lit it up in Boston for 1 year, then got the contract with Texas, and he was just like top 3 third baseman in baseball for like the next
Yeah.
decade.
All right, I got some guys here. All of these players are between the ages of 24 and 30, and they are all having really, really good seasons for them. Jonah Heim, Nathaniel Lau, Josh Young, Leody Taveras, Adolis Garcia, Ezekiel Duran. These guys are in their lineup every day. They all have at least a 780 OPS.
Jeez.
They
Wonder what that.
are some of these guys going to regress? Yeah, but this is young talent that is almost on the level of the Braves if they can lock them up.
Yeah. I mean, I was
Um,
gonna say, what's the average age on these guys? Because I was just about to look that up. It's got to be.
I kind of think
low.
this team is going to be. Well, wait. What about the pitching? Let's
They're
see.
here for a
Quick
while.
milestone.
They're here for a while.
Quick milestone watch. Marcus Semien. We were just talking about him. Just got his 200th career home run.
Hey,
It's a big
congrats,
one.
Marcus.
So crazy that he had 45 home runs in 2021.
Yeah.
Do you think there was something to like that Toronto thing where they were playing in like 3 different stadiums, and like 2 of those minor league stadiums
Oh,
were
like in
I
super
believe it.
Buffalo.
friendly. Like when Vlad,
I mean,
like
everyone was hitting bombs in that Buffalo stadium. I remember.
yeah, that Buffalo
Like they
stadium.
would always
Yeah.
someone would be double digits like every other night. Yeah.
Okay, Houston Astros. They have they crested or are they still they're still gonna keep
They're chugging.
they're chugging. They're fine.
Yeah.
But I think they've reached sort of a plateau. If we're talking like the Warriors, maybe this is like a 2021 title era.
I think they're honestly literally parallel with the Warriors dynasty,
Yeah.
just and where they're at.
Yeah,
Just
I mean, yeah,
won
they
their
still have
recent
they have
championship
Jordan and
like
they have a lot of good
last year.
talent. There's no
Yeah.
need to belabor the point on them. They are
Right.
they're a little down this year, but I expect them to bounce back just fine in the future. Um, the Los Angeles Angels.
Oh, this
It
one's
was
fun.
fun. It was fun for a little bit.
God, they're so
We are
bad.
we are going to have the first team in the win now, lose later column, because they are about to get real not happy.
Mike Trout is Ken Griffey Jr.
Otani
You blew it.
gone.
The Angels, you blew it. You had your chance, and I got nothing else for you guys.
Otani's going to the Dodgers. I'm
He's
convinced.
going to the
Because
Dodgers.
the
We'll
only
talk
reason
about
he
that later,
didn't
but
go to the Dodgers though is because when he broke in, there wasn't like the universal DH rule. So he
Yeah.
just eliminated like almost all of the NL teams except for the Cubs for some reason. Well, remember that? That was weird. But
all
he needed
right.
to go to an AL team, but he's just gonna go to the Dodgers. He probably just wants to stay on the West Coast. Dodgers will give him all the money. I'm convinced. I'm
All
convinced.
right. Seattle, I don't think they're all that great this year. I think they have a core that they can try and win with for a few years before
Right.
trading.
They just need their
Um,
young players and not kick water coolers.
yeah,
They're kind
exactly.
of like the White Sox a little bit, I feel like.
I
No, they're better. They're
disagree.
on more solid ground than the White
The White
Sox.
Sox won a division title in 2021.
Yeah, but
Mariners
winning
have not.
winning anything in the AL Central versus
That's
winning
not an
anything in the AL West,
achievement.
it's just different. Uh, guys, it's time to talk about the Oakland A's.
I want to tell you about the Mariners. In the offseason, they were like coming off like a really good year where they had Julio come up and they were on the up. And then ownership came out. They had that quote that was reported in the offseason when they were like, we are actually like we can't spend any money. Now like literally like came out in the offseason. Last offseason was the perfect time for that team to put the pedal to the metal and spend money. Instead, they didn't do anything, and surprise, surprise, they regress. I mean, what they got Teoscar Hernandez, and he's gonna be a free agent. Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
They don't move me at all.
they were just cheap, and
yeah.
it cost them.
They have time to get things right, but I mean, it's the Mariners. They've squandered way, way, way more talent than this. Just go look at that 97 team and who was on it, and they got
Yeah.
nothing from it. The Oakland A's. So when was the last time you guys watched Moneyball? Let's do a little
A
bit of
year ago,
podcast
probably.
business
Too
right now.
long.
So I'm thinking we watch it and then we talk about the Oakland A's then because I
I have
think
beef with Moneyball.
I do too.
I
I
have
think
beef with
I
it.
think the book Loki kind of destroyed this team. They had a system that I mean the way they were doing things was always going to get out.
Dude, the craziest thing
We're
about that
talking about
movie.
this team like it's dead, and that's what is really interesting to me.
Hold on. The craziest thing about that movie is fact check me, but I don't think they mentioned Miguel Tejada
N-
one time
They
in the
show him,
entire movie.
but
Nope.
yeah, he's not
No
He
mentioned
Barry
at
won
all.
Zito,
the
no Mark
MVP
Mulder. Yep.
that year.
So they're
It's
like, nah, we're gonna
crazy.
focus on the rando
Carlos
gritty
Pena was the
guys.
Yeah.
problem.
In the
So
near
crazy.
future, if it hasn't been made abundantly clear, this team will be. I can't even imagine how miserable it's going to be in like 2 years when they're still playing in front of like 1,000 people. It's going to get it's going to get surreal really fast. I'm kind of scared for all of them. Send your prayers to any A's fan you may know.
Hey, maybe the new ballpark might look pretty or something.
It's going to be in Las Vegas.
It
Should
could
not
still
gonna be
look
habitable.
cool.
It's not
It
gonna be
could still
habitable in
look
20
good.
years.
Giant
What are we doing
sphere.
here?
We'll have a dome. It will look.
Yeah.
It might look cool. It could look cool. You
It
don't
might
know.
look cool.